Good morning, Guten Chodesh. Thank you very much for clicking on to Kila Chari Torah's daily Sefirat Haomer, counting the Omer for Monday, May 2nd, second day of Rosh Chodesh Iyar. Last night we counted 16 days of the Omer. Hayom Shisha Asar Yom Shem Shnei Shavuos Ushnei Yamim LaOmer. Here's what Chani Juravel writes about today's Sfirot: Gevura Shebetiferes, discipline in compassion. Today's Midah is the Gevura of Tiferes, the discipline of our compassion. Tiferes is how we join Chesed and Gevura, as we discussed yesterday, bringing a sense of clarity and totality to how we give to and see the world through the reality of others. Incorporating Gevura means systematically improving our skills of compassion in a disciplined and real way. Demonstrating compassion is something we do often, and most of the time it's done in whatever way comes naturally. Today, let's take a look at some questions that might help fine-tune our compassion in some commonly needed ways that incorporate Gevura. So she has two main ones here. One is, does being a compassionate person mean always saying yes, or is saying no also an option? And question number two is, who and what comes first when it comes to my compassion? And here's the story, and actually there's a third here. Is my expression of compassion appropriate for the person I'm helping? Okay, take a little bit quick of a closer look at number two. She said her father, of blessed memory, used to remind her that a busy person juggles a lot of balls, but in the juggling process, always has to remember which balls are made of rubber and which balls are made of glass. Some balls, as much as they're part of the act, will just bounce if we drop them. But deciding which ones are glass is going to be the greatest act of Gevura within Tiferes we demonstrate towards ourselves and those in our lives. So she tells a story about a client of hers. I guess she, as a coach or an advisor, she says a client was a successful businesswoman, very driven, juggling an awful lot of balls between her personal and professional life. So I asked her to write down all the balls she was definitely trying to keep in the air. Then I asked which ones could bounce. She said, how honest can I be? Chewing on her pencil. Very honest, I said. In that case, she looked at the list. I have great help in the house, and my husband's really low maintenance. Let's bounce him and the kids. Okay. Then she explains the 2020 coronavirus era, which we're still really in the middle of, when our lives were turned inside out and upside down, made us all realize just how many balls really can bounce and which ones absolutely cannot. In terms of my compassion, am I more likely to give to outsiders or stretch myself in ways that will feel quantifiably better or help me to feel or become more widely acknowledged? That's human, but am I being mindful that of how that could be taken away from the resources and energy I need from my glass ones, like my health and the well-being of the people to whom I am not replaceable. Today's call to action, writes Mrs. Juravel, create a list of all the balls you juggle. For each, consider its measure of priority. Must it be done, and must it be done by you? Mark a 1 next to each must do, a 2 for each may do sometimes, and 3 for extra. Question how you are doing with the ones and if any tweaking needs to happen. Imagine how it would feel to bounce some of those 2s and all the extras. What would you miss? What would you be relieved of to let go? What would you need? What would you need to make some room for? Interesting thoughts to ponder. We'll think about that as we enjoy the rest of Rosh Chodesh today. Remember that we are saying Ya'aleh v'yavo in our prayers. We are also including that paragraph in Birkat Hamazon in benching, and we are saying the abbreviated form of Hallel and Musaf. For those who wear tefillin during davening and don't make it to our minyan or any minyan for us to remind you, we remove our tefillin if we're wearing them before davening Musaf for Rosh Chodesh. Have a wonderful day. A good Chodesh. Please join us again tomorrow. Bye-bye.